Hello everyone, it's Annie Whalen. Today I would like to demonstrate how to make an apple pie. People are intimidated by making pie crust, but it's really quite easy. Today I will be sharing a recipe that my grandmother gave me over 30 years ago. And it's great to be able to know how to make homemade desserts that you can share with your friends and family. The recipe begins with 2 cups of flour, a cup of shortening, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and 4 tablespoons of hot water. I'm just mixing it together in the bowl, cutting up the shortening until it is granular in nature. Once the dough is mixed and crumbly in the bowl, the fun begins. I'm taking a little bit of flour and putting it on the surface that I plan to roll the dough out on, and now I'm just going to gather up the dough in the bowl and dump it onto the flour. Now I'm forming all of that mixture into a nice ball of dough. If it's too sticky, I can add more flour, and if it's a little dry, I can add more water. I'm just turning it in my hands to make it a nice, pliable, smooth ball of dough. Taking half of the dough, I'm going to form it into a flat circle, and I'm putting it on a floured surface. So I'll just add a little more flour, and now I'm going to gently but firmly roll it into a circle. So I'm just going back and forth carefully. I'm making sure that there's flour under the dough and on top so it's not sticking underneath or to my rolling pin. I turn it over several times and I use that smooth, even pressure. When I have it big enough to fit in my pan, I just lift it up, bring the pan over, and gently put it in. And I'm just very carefully working the dough to make sure it fits smoothly and evenly in the pan. For this small apple pie, I've cut up 3 Cortland apples, and I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 tablespoon of flour. And along with that, I have 1/4 cup of granulated sugar and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. So I'm just mixing this together, making sure that all the apples are coated properly. Once that's been accomplished, I can go ahead and fill my pie plate. Now that I've filled the pie plate with apples, we're ready to start the top crust. I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the bottom crust, putting a little flour on the surface, taking the second half of my dough and just making it into a nice circle, patting it so it's even. And the same procedure. I can just put a little flour on the bottom, a little on the top. With quick, even strokes, I just want to make sure I'm being careful not to put too much pressure on it. I want to make it into a nice circle. It's all ready to go. It's nice, smooth, even. This time, instead of just lifting it up, I'm going to take the dough and flip it over. And I'm going to take a knife and vent it. So I'm just putting a little cut right in the center to let the steam escape when it's cooking. So I'm lifting my pie crust off the counter and I'm putting it over my pie. And it's really a perfect fit. I just need to clean it up and put it in the oven. So my last step in preparing this pie is trimming up the edges so it looks nice after it's baked. I'm taking a knife and I'm trimming off the excess pieces of dough. When I've completed that, I'm just pinching those pieces together to seal it and then folding them over. So I'm just making sure that those apples stay inside and all that juice stays inside the pie. while it's baking. Once I've trimmed the excess dough, sealed the edges, and then made a nice design, I just add a little sugar before I pop it into my preheated 425-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes. It's ready to go. I just removed this beautiful pie from the oven. I'm going to let it cool and then share it with friends and family. I hope you'll give it a try as well. Thank you.